We started up about 8 years ago. We bought our first two mare and a foal. Started with small shows with those two horses, and we had so good fun, so we bought a few other horses and started up our little breeding program. We bought from Naples Arabians, Naples Blitz, and she gave us a very good start with a beautiful colt, Panal Sharif, that became top 10 world champion. He did top 5 Chantilly, gold champion here in. We've done well around the shows.
Are you united to other Scandinavian breeders, or there is a lot of competition and you can really feel it?
It's not so many breeders in Norway at the moment that's coming out with the horses. Mm-hmm. But we are very good connected to Sweden. We used Kathleen, it's Magic Magnifique, and turned out very well for us. Mm-hmm. And we're in good contact with the trainer and handlers in Sweden, and we have a really good relationship to Sweden. And this year we also went to Denmark for the show, had a really good show in Denmark. And sadly we don't have shows in Norway at the moment. We're trying to get it sorted out to have one for next year maybe. But it's not so easy now because it's tough classes, and the small breeders maybe are a little bit scared to go out and compete against the big ones.
Do you think that the quality of Scandinavian countries can anyway compete with the other European countries?
I think we can do well. It's a lot of people with a lot of knowledge about breeding. They know how to do it.
Which is your future plan for your breeding? And
for our breeding, we're going to use. We're breeding 3 mares this year, and we're going a little bit Brazilian lines this year. So we'll see how it turns out. We have a good plan.
So Malik, tell us, how did you start with Arabian horses and which is your story?
Well, I started with the Arabian horses about 5 years ago at Cullinghurst Stud with Paul and Francis Atkinson in England. So yeah, they introduced me to the breed and actually made it something that was more than just the horses, or it became something a bit more special. And I was with them for a short while, and then I went to Miles Buckley and spent 2 years with him, where I pretty much learned everything that I am doing now. It was crazy from starting off in England with him and then traveling all over the world, all over the Middle East, all over Europe, things that you would not imagine doing when you're 20 years old. And now 3 years later, I'm no longer with Miles, but I'm now showing for Prestige Arabians of Norway, and these guys are amazing. I met them at Chantilly about 3 years ago, and then I actually competed with Thor in the Young Handlers Cup in Aachen. Not Aachen, in Aachen, which was funny, and this is where we really began to know each other. And last year was the first year I showed for them, which was amazing, which is in Sweden, in Flyinge, which was really good. And they gave me an opportunity, and we worked really well together. And a year later, we went to Denmark, the show just gone, and that was a great show. That was a great show. We had 3 mares, and they both showed amazing. All 3 of them showed amazingly. So it was really great. And then to come back a year later to the Scandinavian Open Championship and to show again with them and for them is just, it's a dream come true, because you always want to build a relationship and a long-lasting one, and it's not always the case, but when you can, and especially with a farm like this, it's a relationship worth keeping. So,
sure.
Yeah.
And now you work with them also in Norway? I mean, you train their horses every day, or you just come to the show with them?
No. I train their horses every day. I'm based in Norway. So I kind of live on the farm, training the horses every day and working with them every day. And it's really cool because, it's not just the halter training, we're riding them and which is great. So you're really building a connection which is unique, and so when you do come to the shows, you know them inside out, and work, and then finally actually getting to show them, especially after like 4 months of preparation.
I met Malik the first time in Aachen in 2015, where he was in amateur class, and he was working for Miles Buckley in England, and we had a little chat together, and I invited Malik to come to Norway the year after. He came and had a look at my horses. He just for a holiday, and he liked what he saw, and he asked maybe if he could stay a little while and train a little bit and have fun with the horses. And we started up. We found this was a good thing. Malik he haven't been shown horses himself, so we gave him an opportunity to try. So last year he took out a few horses for us, and so he stayed over the horse up till the summer, and then he did the shows. And this year he came pretty early. He came back from America and wanted to come back, so we gave him the opportunity. So he came back, and yeah, we had good fun.
I think that's very nice when you can create an atmosphere like this.
Yeah.
It is not only work, but it's something more. You know?
We have included him as family, and he's a really good friend now, and he's doing a good job for us. And the most important thing we do is to have fun. It gives everyone a good happening every time. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for your time and
Thank
your
you.
words. Why you started with Arabian horses? Just because you get in the business, or because you were passionate of Arabians also before? Which is the things that really makes you love the Arabian horse more?
When I first started working with horses when I was 16 in college, and then I moved up north to the north of England, and I started working on a hunting yard with hunting horses and show jumping horses. And then suddenly I left and I went back home, and I wanted to continue working with the horses, and that's when Paul and Francis Atkinson gave me the opportunity. And that's when I first started working with Arabs, and I would never look back again. It was the most... You can build a relationship with these horses like none other. You know, they are very intuitive, and they're patient, and you know, you can really become at one with them. And this is the amazing thing about showing them, because it's not just, you know, being in the arena and running with them. You know, for me it's a dance. You know, you're at one with them and you work with them, and it's a relationship that is not easily replaced. So it's a passion. You know, it's not a job. You know, you have to accept it as your life and love it, and you know, you will succeed in it. I hope so.
And for your future, you see yourself in Prestige, or?
Oh, I think I'll always be here. You know, when you find a farm like this, you know, you don't really want to ever think of yourself as leaving. You know, you want to always know that you'll be a part of it. You know, but obviously I'll be in the Middle East from September, and I'll be there till February. So, you know, it's good. You know, you're keeping a nice balance, you know, between Europe and the Middle East. And
the Middle East, you go for who?
Kuwait, Øvrebotten, so for Øvrebotten, so which will be really good. This will be my first experience with them, but you know, previously, obviously, when I was with Miles, I had my plenty of experience in Kuwait, so I'd obviously had to come across them and met them. But obviously, I was working more than with SIL stud, and obviously, once I stepped out on my own, you know, I got the opportunity from them to come out and train on their farm. So I grabbed that with both hands. It's an opportunity that doesn't come so often, and when you see it, you have to take it. They have some really, really pretty horses, and you know, especially been like 4 years ago, and for the last 3 years, we're going back to Kuwait, and you're seeing, especially how these farms are just improving, and their breeding programs are just, you know, adapting, and then every year you go there, and there's just something else that takes you by surprise, and you know, it's amazing. So that's what I mean by it takes a passion. It's not something that you can do half-heartedly. You know, you put your heart into it, you have everything.